Greetings and welcome to Finance 2205 Personal Finance in the spring 2013 semester. So you're an online student. Welcome, and I hope that since the semester started officially yesterday, Thursday, January the 17th, that you are ready to get started, that you've got your textbook, that you've logged into Pause, that you've even read the syllabus, and that you're really ready to get started. I want to kind of give you an introduction. I'm going to this one time send this message to you via the external regular Southwest email and also through the Pause email. Now, if you don't understand that these are two distinctly separate emails, then you're going to struggle as an online student. So it's important that you can hear what I'm saying, because this will be the last time I'll send the email message through both channels. From this point forward in the semester, we're going to use our course management system. It's called Pause, because our mascot is a Saluki, which is an Egyptian hunting dog, and it's like the paw print of the dog, so it's called Pause. And so this is where all the course activities take place, and so you've got to get in there and you need to be checking it daily, but we'll talk about that as part of the syllabus. Okay, so let me just switch around here so you can see my screen. And again, I just want to say welcome. Personal Finance 2205 spring semester, and I'm your instructor, Dr. Joan, okay? And so that's what you can call me, and that's how you can address me throughout the semester. Now, I've opened up my web browser, and you're doing this at home on your computer. Very, very important that you bookmark the page eLearn. Now, I'll tell you something about this. Some students start out at the Southwest homepage. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. And click on the Pause link here. But if you want to get the direct link so that you can bookmark it, put eLearn on the web address. So in other words, delete the www and simply have eLearn, and that'll take you directly to the system. Now, then you're going to use your Southwest login name and password to log into the system. When your page displays, and yours will probably look different, much cleaner. As faculty, I have a lot of stuff going on. You're going to find our Finance 2205 class, and you're going to click that. And you're going to see the course homepage. Now, I want you to read everything that I typed out here so that you can understand a little bit about how the course works. On this left-hand side, you will see what it calls upcoming events. There are two types of events that are listed here. One event is due dates that are coming up. Another event is assignments that are opening. So you can click these links to explore them, but very important, you need to take some time and figure out what each one of these links across the top of the course do, okay? One of the most important links that you'll be looking at is the content link, and so this is really what I want to talk to you about today. And here you'll see how this course works, the assessment tools, the communication tools, expectations, the online orientation, and even the course syllabus. And you have some dates coming up, so very important that you make yourself aware of all these things that are coming up. And one thing, hang on just a moment. Okay, during that pause, I just want to confess that I cheated. I added a link, and I want to point this out to you. I wanted to tell you that there's an easy way to see some of this, and that is by looking at our class schedule. And so I've added a link there. Now, this is kind of a paper static, non-changing schedule. Another really good and very important tool is the Pause calendar that will allow you to see your due dates and assignments that are approaching. So I am going to click this link that I just now provided for you called Class Schedule, and it's going to take you to my faculty homepage. Now you notice we're still, we were in pause there, but it took you out to a different page. And you can view that schedule either as a Word document or as a PDF file, and I'm just going to click the PDF and open that. And so I've opened the schedule. You see this is 2013 spring Again, we only meet online. We do not meet in the classroom. And so read this. I'm going to go through it quickly for the sake of the video, but you have this. You can print this and you can read this. So go through and look at the schedule, and it'll tell you that this week there are some important things that you need to be working on. For example, you need to be working and actually complete the online orientation, and this will help you to understand the requirements of an online student, help you get oriented into the PAWS system. Also, as I've already mentioned, read the syllabus, read your schedule. Of course, you're going to have to get your textbook and get started on that. And so you see what's due. Well, on Wednesday the 23rd, the PAWS orientation quiz is due. Also, you're going to want to check out the PAWS discussion board. I'll show you that in a moment, so that you can post your introduction and start to, getting to know the students in your class. Okay? Now, you can start to look ahead and see the other assignments. Each week, as you'll notice, you have one chapter quiz and one discussion board posting that's due. I want to give you an important note in regards to the discussion board postings. It is very important that you are demonstrative in your discussion board posting. You need to let me know that you have read your book, and also you need to answer the question that I ask. You can't morph it into something else, and never ever ever straddle the line. If I ask you, for example, which would you choose, A or B? A and B are both going to have pros and cons to them. I do understand that. But to say both will result in, I'm going to say no points, because it didn't answer the question. The question to you is, if you had to choose one, both is not one of the answers. I know you think, oh, I can't get it wrong if I say both. Yes, you can. In fact, that is a very wrong answer. Whenever you answer any of the questions, tell me what you read in the textbook that supports your opinion. Okay? You may feel that red is your favorite color, or purple, or pink, or blue, but there has to be something to support that opinion and that decision. And it needs to come from the literature. And the literature in our particular case is the textbook. It tells us that our authors have gone out, they've researched the field, they've studied this, they've synthesized it for us and summarized it for us, and now they're giving you that information. So based on this, summary of what all the industry experts think, how has that influenced your opinion? And so as you give your opinions and give your examples, I want to hear about those too, but it has to be rooted in the literature. If you tell us that the sky is green, okay, I need to know who else substantiates that the sky is green. What page in your textbook will prove to me that the sky is green? Okay, you'll learn more about me as we continue through this semester, but I'm just giving you some tips for success. So there's the schedule. And again, take your time, go through it, and read it. But it is a nicely laid out format, if I say so myself. Okay, so let me get back to, and this was, remember, I clicked PDF from my faculty webpage. And so now here I am back in PAWS. Let me click the content link one more time so that we can get back to that display. So read through each one of these links carefully. As you begin each chapter, you'll see the expectations for that chapter, and you'll even have nice links here that go directly to the quiz and to the discussion. Now, I've talked about the discussion. Let me give you an important note for each quiz. You can click that link to go to a specific quiz, but you can also come up here and click on this link to quizzes. Something really important that I noticed students last semester struggled with, and so I don't want you to make those same mistakes. So this is, tip for success, okay? When you look at these quizzes, first of all, you see due dates. Very important to be done well in advance of the due date. Don't tell me you didn't have quite enough time to finish. Oops, I see an error. I'll fix that so that that's 11:55. Make sure you're finished the day before, 2 days before. Finish early to avoid being late. Okay, so through the miracle of modern technology, I did correct that time on your pause quiz, so it's not due until 11:55 p.m. Okay, but the due date is not what tripped up students from last semester. What tripped them up is this over here, the number of attempts. Unlimited attempts. This means that you can go out and take these quizzes, especially your chapter quizzes, as many times as you want until the due date, right? Why did that trip them up? I don't know. You know, as you start to take well, I do know, I'll tell you. As you start to take the quiz, I tested this chapter 1 quiz, and you can see that it'll show how many attempts. Do you know what? If you take this chapter 1 quiz 50 times, and the very first time you take it, you make 100%, that's the only grade I count, right? You make 100%, 2%, 3%, 7%, 52%, don't care. Only count the 100%. So there is no fault, no negative associated with taking the quiz multiple times. The more time you spend in the quiz, the more you will immerse yourself in the subject matter. So why did the students last semester struggle with this? Because they only wanted to take the quiz one time, and then they wanted to go on and work on their other courses. And unfortunately, they struggled to get everything in the top score that they wanted within the time period. Well, studying takes time, and the more time you spend in the material, the faster you will go. Now, I'm going to take this chapter 1 quiz again. And I'm going to show you some things here. Okay, so I'm going to click the chapter 1 quiz to begin. Now, you are going to read this screen. This was another little bit of a problem last semester. People say, well, I didn't know. I didn't know that the quiz expires. I didn't know to do this, that, and the other. Well, the reason you didn't know is because you zipped on through this and you didn't read. And if you're an online student, you have got to spend some time. Just take a deep breath. Read, okay? You can do this, and it's, you know, this is not going to be a problem, okay? Just, you know, read. Now, once I've read, I'm going to start the quiz. I'm going to once again read this material. If you run out of time, you can only submit your saved responses. I'm sorry, what did that say? If you run out of time, if you take too long, then you can only submit responses that you have saved. Oh. So I need to answer within the time limit, and I need to save those answers, because if I don't save the answers and I run out of time, I might end up with 0 points. I think some students last semester didn't read that. I hope you spend some time. There's other things in there that I'm not going over that you might want to take some time and read. Okay, this is question number 1, but I suspect that when you take this chapter quiz, this will not be your question number 1. The questions come from a pool. They're randomized. That means question 1 may not even appear next time. It might appear as question number 5, right? Here's another place where things are random. If the answer is A, and I have not read the question, I don't know what the answer is, this answer might show up as answer D. So if you try to memorize the question, and if question number 1 is A, that will not help you. If you try to learn that the answer to the question that you read is this answer, you're going to learn. That's the goal. Okay, so I'm going to check an answer. Now remember, if I run out of time, that's not going to count for anything. It's not going to be graded. I should save after each and every response. After you save, see how it turns a darker blue over here on the side? So you're going to go through and you're going to pick answers, and you're going to answer the question for every question on the page, right? And that's going to take some time, so obviously I'm not going to go through and do this all. But how much time do you have? Well, you can look up here. Look at this, folks. 2 hours. Now, I don't think it's going to take you 2 hours, but maybe the first time it does. Well, you can always submit it, and if you submit after 30 minutes. And if you don't like your score, take it again. Even if you do like your score, take it again so you immerse yourself in the material. Okay, so I'm just going to click on some of these. Again, save after each response. There is also an option to save all responses, but again, if you run out of time or computer crashes, anything like that, you're going to lose all this time that you've invested. Now, do you see how some of the discs are still kind of a light gray? That means I have not answered that particular question. So I'm just going to come up here, again, I'll answer something. I see I've left question 18 blank. There's only 20 questions. 2 hours, folks, come on, more than enough time. But if you go watch television or something, but here's the other side of the coin. What if you're just reading? And that's fine. This is a great study tool to help you go through the chapter. Take it again, you're going to see different questions. You know what? You're going to see these questions again on the exam. So this is a great way to study. It's directly a study tool for the exam. Plus, you need to do well to earn points. So make sure you get the minimum score. See the syllabus so that you know what that minimum score is. And you repeat this quiz until you get the minimum score. You know why else you want to read the syllabus? Because what you're going to see is that if you make the best score the very first time you take it, I'm going to count only your best score. Even if you make F's on this quiz the next 10 times you take it. If you made 100%, a 92%, those are the grades that I'm going to keep, only that top, the highest score. Okay, read the syllabus. I'm going to submit my quiz. Are you reading? Hopefully you're reading. Are you want to submit the quiz? Yes. Now, what does this say? Well, this one here says that I got 0 out of a half point per question. So, what's the right answer? I don't know. I'm going to have to sit down with my textbook and I'm going to have to read to find out what the correct answer is. What I do know is that this is the wrong answer. And obviously I didn't read it all. I'm just clicking answers, and so you can kind of see some of these. I should have, I guess, taken the time to get one of them right. Oh, normally just by happenstance I get one right. Oh goodness, I didn't get any right. I do apologize. I should have taken some time. Okay, if you get it right, it'll tell you, the 0.5 out of 0.5 points. But obviously, this is not going to be my best score, right? Okay, so what do? Well, I think I might go back to the quiz list and see how it now says that I've taken this 2 out of 2 times. Now, I'm always amazed at the number of students who never click on these icons here. You can click on this and you can go back in and review your attempts at any time. So see here, I got one right. I got half a point. I think I only answered 2 questions on my previous attempt. And so I could go back and, look at that, right? But really what I want to do is I want to make sure that I've allowed some time. So since I got these bad scores, I'm going to take it again, right? And I'm going to, start that quiz. And let me load this up. Okay, so it's loaded up. I've clicked some answers. Make sure to save and answer everything. And I'm going to submit my quiz. Okay, and see it says, okay, you're going to submit your quiz. You're about to submit your quiz. You're reading. Aha. Okay, now, once again, you see the points for each question, and I should have spent more time with this. I don't want to give you answers to too many questions. So let me scroll on down, and you'll see your overall score down here at the bottom, okay? And it also tells you, I think this is a little off the screen for you, but it also tells you that for the 3 attempts, this is my highest attempt at this quiz. Now, unfortunately, 65% is not where I want to stop, right? This is not my best score. I need to keep doing this until I meet the minimum score requirement. Okay, but here's my real point. I've taken this quiz 3 times. So did you see what I did? Instead of clicking quizzes, I've gone over here to grades. And what does it say for my Chapter 1 quiz grade? It doesn't show the 0 that I made. It does not show the 0.5 that I made. It only shows the highest score. So take some time to study. Repeat the quiz until you make the best possible score. Okay, We've talked about a lot of things, but I hope I've given you the information that you need to get started. We started out by logging into Pause. I've encouraged you to explore these links. You're looking at the content and you're systematically reading each one of these links and making notes so you know what you need to do. I've added the class schedule so that you're very aware of your deadlines, but I've also indicated to you that you should investigate the calendar in Pause. I'll click on that really quickly because the schedule here, the link I provided is a static schedule, but your due dates are in the system and they're always available to you. You see them in the calendar here, right? When I used the quizzes tool, I showed you that you could see the due dates and times there. I've shown you the grades tool so that as you earn your scores and grades get posted, you see those here. Now, I also explained to you that you will have each week for each chapter a discussion board posting. So you want to go into the discussions, and there's lots of things that you can kind of read through here. But really what you want to do, oh goodness, I'm sorry, I think my student account, do you have to read all this? I apologize if you do. I'm going to try to make some of these other threads that we do not use invisible as a convenience. I do apologize. Okay, so you don't see these. So I'm going to fix these dates. So it's good I'm doing the video. Okay, I'm going to fix these dates because you definitely cannot work in 2010. Okay, but you can see the questions that I'm going to ask. Let me fix this and I'll come right back in. Okay, again, through the magic of technology, and I apologize. And obviously I need, there's some updates that did not come through in terms of dates, so I will fix that. You've got your required class introduction. So let's say I'm going to introduce myself. Okay, I could click on read, please read. Okay, but I could click on class introduction. I'm going to read all this. Now I'm getting ready to reply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now click on compose. Okay, just for the sake of time, I'm going to say sample as demonstrated in video. All right? And this is where it shows up. Now, if a classmate wants to now introduce themselves, they would again click compose. And I'll do one or two more samples just so that you make sure you understand how this works. I'm going to say sample number 2. Sample number 2 as shown in video. And what I'll probably do is delete these so that they don't clutter our discussion board. Okay, let me get this up here. See down here it says post. You really have to be looking. You might have to expand the window to see post and see where it comes in. Now maybe I wanted to reply to the sample number 2 post. Okay, there's the post. I just click reply. See how this works? This is a reply. I might even add to this to make it a little bit more descriptive. So you got to be on the lookout for this post button. Sometimes it's way far down in the window. Okay, and I'm closing this. And see how it's indented now because they call that a thread. Okay, so each chapter you're going to be required. Let me go back to discussion board. See how I click discussion? To read this question, form a response, spell check your response. You might want to type it in a word processor, and then reply to the message, and I'll post your grade, and you'll see that grade under the grades link. Okay, so a little overview of Pause in terms of content, discussions, quizzes, and grades. You'll get familiar with it. Be sure to read the syllabus in terms of the point values and drop grades and minimum score requirements. But I look forward to a great semester. If I have just a moment to wave goodbye to you, I did want to take this chance to introduce myself. So I'm Dr. Joan. I'm looking forward to a great semester, and I think you're really going to enjoy this course. It's a lot of fun, and it'll bring a lot of things to the surface that you may just not have thought about or spent any serious time on. Thanks, and have a great semester.